Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you, and I wish you all a very good evening. So, students, sometimes what happens is that when we start our preparation journey, often we start it with a lot of enthusiasm, we start it with a lot of passion. But when we reach somewhere in the middle of that journey, sometimes we lose that spark, sometimes we end up losing the passion. Now, what happens is that the why, the reason because of which we have started that journey, it somehow fades because the hard work, the effort, the amount of time, the amount of hard work it takes, the effort it takes for an exam like NABARD Grade A. So that hard work somewhere fades the why of why in us, that why in the first place we started our preparation, why in the first place we wanted to join this organization. Now, to make sure to reignite that spark in you, today we at EduTap we are conducting this event, and as a part of this event, we have with us the retired DGM of NABARD, that is Mr. V. Sundaraman, and sir, he has an experience of 40 years. So we are going to discuss NABARD as an organization, NABARD Grade A as a career opportunity, and with this detailed discussion, you will again find yourself the why with which you started, when you will know that what an amazing organization it is, what an amazing career it is to be to join NABARD as a grade A officer. The spark will definitely be reignited with you, and again you will find yourself back on the track with the same passion, with the same spark. Before I start, let me give you a quick introduction about Sir Mr. V. Sundaraman. So, Sir joined NABARD as a development assistant and he retired as a senior deputy general manager. And he had a career spanning 40 years. He had served in various offices of NABARD, that in Mumbai, Bhopal, Hyderabad, Pune. And he has served in various capacities also, notably as a faculty member heading the program management unit for 5 western states for a program in collaboration with German Development Bank. He has served in Department of Information Technology. He has served in Department of Supervision. And finally, he retired as a Principal Inspecting Officer, inspecting the regional offices, head office department, training establishment, and the subsidiaries. And post-retirement also, he was called again by NABARD for preparation of a software for risk-based inspection for 7 months. And now he's continuing in NABARD as a project implementation manager for a collaborative program with Government of India. So, Sir has a wide experience of working with NABARD. He has served in various capacities in various important departments, and that is why he is the best person for us to discuss the NABARD as an organization and NABARD Grade A as a career. So, Sir, I welcome you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Good evening, friends. Nice to see you all. Can we have a quick kind of introduction? If anybody is there, madam, or we'll skip the introduction to the later part. We can directly go to the question if time is constrained.
Sir, Yes, sir. I'm going to directly jump to the questions. And
That's fine.
students, here I'm going to discuss with sir on various aspects. If you feel that that particular aspect has not been discussed, and if you still have any doubt, you can let me know in the chat section. And those of you who have joined this on YouTube, you can let me know the questions in the comment section also. I will try incorporating as many questions as I can. And students, this is a golden opportunity for you to know the NABARD as an organization, because we have with us someone who has worked so closely and for such a long time with NABARD. So this is the best opportunity for you to know this organization better. Right. So, sir, first of all, I would like to know you that how does it feel to have worked with NABARD for so many years?
Yeah, madam, first of all, thanks for the opportunity to interact with so many aspiring students. I wish them before starting the session all the best for their ensuing examination. Yes, madam, coming back to your question of journey with NABARD, I started NABARD as a development assistant way back in 1984. NABARD is a very, very good organization to work with. It's a journey well traveled, I should say, and it's a very accomplished feeling you have at the end of the 40 years. And NABARD is an equal opportunity provider organizations because it doesn't discriminate on the basis of gender or on the basis of caste, creed, and all. So it's an organization which cares for you while in service and also after in service. Like they say in LIC administration, जिंदगी के साथ भी जिंदगी के बाद भी है. So even after retirement, I really feel that NABARD is a caring organization because it provides all the other facilities which an employee used to enjoy during his tenure as an officer. It continues to be, most of them continues to be like your holiday homes, like your retirement benefits, or like your medical facilities, everything is there. So it's a road well traveled, well accomplished, and I'm very, very happy to have been a part of this wonderful organization, which not only provides you satisfaction of the work and also having served the rural masses in total.
Okay. So one doubt which students often ask is about the work profile of a NABARD Grade A officer. So when a aspirant or a person newly joins as a NABARD Grade A officer, what does their work profile look like? Are they involved more in the policy formulation or policy implementation? What work do they actually do on a daily basis?
Yeah, for a NABARD grade A officer, I would say it's a very, very important position because they are the people who are the bridge between the junior level development assistants and the management level, and they are the people, the award grade officers, who initiate the process, and they have the great opportunity either to close the case or to improve it further. Because for any in organization like NABARD, it's mainly policy oriented. When they, especially, of course, it depends between the departments to department in which they are working. But as a grade A officer, they are the initiators of the case. For example, if there is any recommendation comes for supporting a rural development project, it is a grade A officer who writes his impartial comments, because going down, going up the hierarchy, they are all moved with some pressure or pain points. But in a grade A officer,
Hmm.
there is no pressure. He can always voice his opinion as to what, because there is a hierarchy which takes care. Even if he makes a mistake, hierarchy takes care. But it will be very, very difficult even for the hierarchy if they write something negative to make it a positive thing. So I would say a grade officer, when he joins, he is in a very, he should consider himself as being in a very important seat. I would say rather a very important seat from the perspective of the rural masses. So what are the initiatives he takes has got a wide ramification in the rural areas, especially on the field where NABARD is closely connected with the rural masses. He is the one
Okay.
who initiates the cases. That's a crux of the thing. He is the one who initiates the cases.
Okay.
In here,
So here, yeah,
yeah,
please
here I mean
continue.
the cases means any particular reference, because NABARD receives so much of references from Government of India, from NGOs, from rural people, and from academicians and universities everywhere. So for asking for support, so he's a grade A officer who is the one who has to analyze it. Grade officer's part is mainly analyzing the thing and then putting it up for easier consumption of the senior officers. That's the main role of the grade A officer.
Okay. And sir, you mentioned in your answer that it depends on which departments they are posted in. So, what are the different departments in NABARD?
Yeah. NABARD has got 32 different departments in its head office alone. All these
Okay.
departments mirror in the regional offices also, but these are the departments which makes the policy either for the people or for its own employees. So we can say broadly we can divide these departments into three main aspects. One is the developmental departments, and two is the supervisory departments. Third is the service department. When I say the development departments, it includes two things. One is institution development and second is rural development. So when we talk about the institution developments, NABARD takes care that the people in the rural masses gets adequate finance support from the banks. That is one department, and where we also protect the interest of the rural people who have invested or deposited their money in the rural banks. We call them as rural financial institutions, and we strengthen them. And second, as I say, is the development of the rural areas. That is one department, and second is service departments, which are for their own employees. Like you have your HR, you have like you have a bill section, you have like your accounts department, finance department. These are all called the service departments. And third is what we call it as the functional departments, where we have the functions of the government of India. We have the infrastructure development department for where we work for the government infrastructure projects and also for the government schemes. So broadly, it is institutional departments, service department, and functional departments. And these service departments are also strengthened by the law department, accounts department, and finance department.
Okay. And sir, I want to ask here one thing that when a person joins NABARD as an officer, so do they get the departments on the basis of their academic backgrounds or are they allotted on a random basis?
Yeah, I generally feel that when a person entering an organization, he would like to get a posting based on his background. However,
Hmm.
the NABARD departments are having wide spectrum of activities. It is not possible to fit in everybody in one department. For example, in an interview or in an examination, we may get 10 chartered accountants, 10 lawyers, and 10 civil engineers. We have the departments which have very few little people to be accommodated in these departments. At the maybe whether they are posting in any department. Supposing if a chartered accountant gets posted to an investment credit department. There also you can use his expertise in analyzing the credit policies, in analyzing the, supposing we get so many loan applications. As a chartered accountant, he'll be able to put his views as to whether the institution which we are supporting has got the strength to pay back the amount. Or as if he's in supervisory department, we get to analyze the balance sheet of so many rural financial institutions like regional rural banks, cooperative banks, primary agricultural cooperative societies. These institutions come. There also we can have a expertise of the chartered accountant or a lawyer or an engineer in case of infrastructure department. So, in a nutshell, what I would like to say is the postings are generally not decided based on the qualifications. However, if there is any exceptional qualifications depending on the vacancy, we would try to allocate the departments based on their background. For example, NABARD has got a very good practice of seeking the choices of the person because they may not know the departments. You would generally have a forum where they have to fill up which are the areas they would like to work in. And accordingly, maximum possible to the extent, we will be allocating them to the specific areas or in a related area. Having said that, we also have a policy of rotation. It doesn't mean once you get into one department, it doesn't end up there. Based on your qualification, your attitude, and vacancies in other departments, you always get shuffled. But this again depends on the vacancies. Coming back to your question, whether they get the department choice of the department, yes, provided there is a vacancy and the skill sets available.
Okay. All right. Sir, here the next question that I want to ask is related to the salary structure. Because although salary, when we talk about it, most of the people think, okay, that this is something you want to allure us with. But at the end of the day, we all have bills to pay. And it is a very important part of all our lives. So I want to understand the monetary aspect of working as an NABARD grade A officer, how well paying a job it is.
Yeah, I would say the persons who are going to join NABARD now are a really a fortunate lot.
Okay.
One thing because recently in
Hmm.
February, from the February month, the salary structure has gone up very comfortably. From 20, it has got an increase of 20 to 25% in during the last 2 months because we had a bipartite settlement.
Yeah.
So for a grade A officer, when he joins, we can say the monetary benefits, leave out the salary, we can say the total monetary benefits into two aspects. One is fixed salary
Hmm.
and again is perquisites. I could say NABARD is a very benevolent organization when it comes to salary structure. A grade officer, when he joins, he gets around 1 lakh 30 to 1 lakh 40,000, depending on the place of posting. Because in metros, it's a little higher, and in other centers, it's a little lower. So I'm saying between a ballpark figure of 1 lakh 25,000 to 1 lakh 40,000, which is very good for a starting your career. When again they have a good compensation by way of provident fund, which is around 14% of their basic pay. When the person joins, his basic pay is around 65,000. So this 14% of that goes into the provident fund, which gets accumulated every year with the interest that gets paid at the time of the superannuation or at time of emergency. And that's a very good, even in if you say compared to other banking industries or government, the rate of interest offered by NABARD in their pension fund is comparatively higher than any other organization. So NABARD gives an equal contribution, and one also has the facility of accumulating more provident fund, which is tax free as of now.
Okay.
And when coming to the allowance part, they get paid. very good allowances for their motor car. They get a 200 liters of petrol, whether irrespective of the place where they stay, whether they are staying in the same campus or they are staying outside, they get 200 liters of petrol, and they get allowances for leave travel concession. They get allowances for even servant maid. They get newspaper allowance. They get a telephone allowance. You name that, they get that.
Okay. I think there is an allowance with the for children education also.
There is an allowance for scholarship. We call them scholarship for children. For that is from the 10th onwards. When the children reaches the 10th, from that onwards it gets. And even for the people who are from the scheduled caste or scheduled tribe also, there is a special allowance for the children allowance for children education. And for children, when I say from 10th onwards, it's for higher education. Other than also for the fees paid by them annually also gets reimbursed with a ceiling. But that ceiling is well covering the current cost of expenses. So normally the parent need not have to worry about the children's education when they are in NABARD.
Okay. And sir, apart from the salary, the next very important aspect about a job is the work-life balance. So, what is the work culture in NABARD and how is the work-life balance?
Yeah, it's very important because most of the Gen Z people who are appearing for these examinations are more worried about the work-life balance. I would say, when I just wanted to explain, what do you mean by a work culture? The work culture is simply saying how the work is being done here. When you talk about from that lens, NABARD has got a collaborative atmosphere. Its work is done in collaboration. It is not fixed hierarchy. Every voice is heard in NABARD. You've got ample opportunities, you've got ample forums to express your views, and it is not an authoritative culture at all. There is one thing which distinguishes NABARD from other organizations is it's a collaborative culture which surpasses sometimes the hierarchy also.
Hmm.
So we have a very good work-life balance, and the people's personal space and personal time is well respected. Normally, I say normally, people adhere to the work time because it is from 9:15, 9:30 to 5 p.m. Normally, say 80% of the times, people get to relieve from their job by 5 o'clock. It's normally, but there are certain situations like when we have this annual closing of accounts or any policy to be finalized or any inspections to be completed within the time frame. The work, of course, gets extended, but it is always within the bearable capacity of an individual. NABARD doesn't make the officers stay beyond the officers because in one culture in NABARD is we always feel if you are not able to finish your work within your time, it's your fault. NABARD
Hmm.
doesn't detain anybody per force or doesn't reward anybody for having stayed beyond the office hours and do the work. So NABARD
Hmm.
does not do that. NABARD does not by normal means doesn't ask anybody to sit late or things. But of course, in case of emergencies or in case of situation, we do rise. Everybody puts their things pulls their socks up and then contribute. So I could say the work-life balance is very good in NABARD, where the your personal space is respected, your holidays are respected, and also about your leave and other things. NABARD has got a well-structured holiday structure and also leave structure comparable to any other institution. I can say it's better than most of the institutions around, where you get ample time to spend with your family.
Okay. And sir, the next question that I want to ask you is related to the posting. So, where does NABARD grade A officers get their postings?
Yeah, this is one thing which people gets haunted because it's a NABARD is a national level organization
Yeah.
where the postings could be anywhere.
Hmm.
One thing is that the initial posting of a grade A officer is normally 90% of the times not in their respective state to they belong,
Okay.
excepting in some cases like northeastern states. Otherwise, the posting is out of the state for the first tenure, and every effort is made to bring you back to your state of choice in course of time. And NABARD also says that in case of any special need people, NABARD takes into consideration their request and tries to accommodate in their area of posting. But only the one thing I wanted to make it clear is because I am from NABARD and I have worked in NABARD, I have attachments to NABARD, I'm not saying anything which is not out of bounds. Everything which I say is in general applicable to NABARD. So I'm not trying to lure you to NABARD as you said, Nanshir, not to lure you to NABARD, but I would like to make the facts before you so that you make a informed choice. I
Hmm.
would say that when the posting is concerned, Yes, it is not always possible to post you in your home department initially, but you
Mhm.
get ample chances to get back to your department, get back to your parent state. In between also, not only to your state, supposing if you belong to some hinterland, like in your district also, NABARD has an opportunity after the first posting, say in next promotion, you get an opportunity to work in your own district as district development manager. We'll come to discuss about the district development manager in course of time. But this is the structure. You get to work in your place of domicile, not immediately, after some time.
Okay. And sir, I want to ask one thing, that are these postings based on any cadres, or are there any home zones, or are you like, are you posted on the basis of any zones, or is there any cadre based posting system?
I would say that normally, supposing if you are from an area called Rajasthan area,
Hmm.
we would like to get you posted, if not in Jaipur, in and around Jaipur. Okay, supposing in Chandigarh, it could be in Haryana or in Uttar Pradesh, where it is not very automobile. But of course, again, it is basically aligned with the vacancy positions in the respective regional offices. It also
Mhm.
depends on the promotions, retirements in the particular regional office and states. It depends
Mm.
entirely on the things. We try to align with the interest of the candidates as well as the organization's needs in deciding about the posting. And we
Okay.
don't consider the zone posting as such. It is based on the state wise only.
Okay. So one thing I want to ask here is that you mentioned about DDM posting. So what
Yeah.
is DDM posting? When does an NABARD Grade A officer become a district development manager, and what work they do as a DDM?
Yeah, it's the once in a life opportunity, I would say, to work in the district. The district development managers are the extended arm of NABARD. They represent NABARD in the district. Though we have offices in the state, each district of India is represented by a NABARD DDM. He works closely with the district administration, like district magistrate or if it is a collector, lead banks of the district, district cooperative banks, all the rural financial institutions look up to the DDM for guidance and also for implementation of policies. It's a
Hmm.
one-man office and it is a residence come office. You work from your residence. You are part of your house is
Hmm.
earmarked as your office with all comforts. It's converted into office room. The rest of the things will be your house. Maybe it can be in the first floor and ground floor, or it can be a part of the big hall that is earmarked for your office. You work from the comfort of your office. Having said the comfort, it's also a very challenging job because you may have to implement all the policies and programs of NABARD, which is being drawn from the head office and transferred to the regional office for implementation. And then the DDMs are the main people, or our foot soldiers, we can say, who implement these projects in the district. So they work in tandem with all the government missionaries. In fact, the in the district hierarchy, if you see a well-established DDM, his rank is only next to the collector, not officially. He represents the collector sometimes also. He is a person who is second to the collector in the district administration. He is the one
Okay.
who takes the lead in implementing the government policies also. So everybody he looks up to the DDM. It's a one-man office without any support as of now. It's a residence come office, and it is a challenging one at the same time very 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 rewarding one. Everybody in NABARD looks up to serve at least one term as a DDM. And again, when coming to DDM posting, it is normally say 90% of the times it will be in your home state.
Okay. So I want to ask here one more question, and this is being asked by Sai Teja also on YouTube. He's asking this, that what exactly the kind of regulatory bodies NABARD, and how does it exactly contribute to Indian economy? So basically, we are trying to know here the overall impact of NABARD's work.
Yeah. Madam, this when I say the impact of NABARD, everybody who joins NABARD would like to know about the organizations. Here in NABARD, the impact is deep rooted. NABARD doesn't go in the peripheral things. All the policies of NABARD are addressing the rural people, rural and empowerment of the women in rural areas, not from the peripheral. It goes deep rooted. When we say about the NABARD, it mainly is a credit financial institutions. It makes available credit for the farming, for the rural, micro, and small medium enterprises, and also for the large agro-based industries. So when we talk about the lower state of the credit, we call it as a financial inclusions. By financial inclusion, I mean that everybody should be in the financial sector. We always have been one thing that no farmer should be deprived of the legitimate credit needs. He should not be going to any money lender or any institution which is charging exorbitant rent. So by saying this, NABARD takes upon its responsibility that every individual, every farmer, every village gets hooked financially and also economically. Every woman in a village, NABARD's aim is to come together in the form of the self-help group or the joint liability group or in the form of the financial inclusion programs like you are having the financial sector reform. There's a special session for that. That is also there. So NABARD inclusiveness, making the credit delivery strengthened and also we develop the rural financial institutions which plays a very important role in addressing the credit needs of these rural people. For example, only when the rural financial institutions are in a strong position, they will be able to give credit to the farmers. So NABARD ensures one directly to the farmers and second by empowering these institutions also. So whenever these institutions are strengthened, naturally the credit delivery system in the rural area is strengthened. So NABARD's main aim when you talk to the social impact is it is necessary to empower the rural people, empower the credit system, and increase and enhance the ecosystem of the rural economy. So we say the impact of NABARD goes to three main sectors: improving the institutions, improving the credit delivery mechanism, improving the infrastructure in the rural areas.
Okay. All right, sir. And I want to ask here one more thing. One of the aspirants, she's asking on YouTube, Monica, that the targets, like we talked about the work culture. So the targets which, like, are there any targets which, like it is there in the banking sector for the NABARD grade A officers to achieve? Is the work culture any target oriented?
The targets are not given to individuals.
Okay.
There is no specific target to any individual.
Okay.
The targets are given to the departments,
Okay.
and not all departments, only those departments which are having the credit credit functions.
Okay.
Not the supervisory functions, not the regulatory function. Those things are not target oriented. Of course, we
Mm-hmm.
may have to inspect certain number of banks during the year. Supposing if the state has got the 30 district central cooperative banks, all these banks have to be inspected at periodic levels. So at
Mm-hmm.
that time, we make it a target, not to the any individual, to the department, to the regional office as a whole. The work gets divided. So target is not focused on any individual. It gets spread to the group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like in
Okay.
commercial banks, you don't have the financial targets to meet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. And so one more thing I want to ask you here is that what kind of stakeholders do NABARD grade officers interact with? Like, do they directly interact with the rural masses, the farmers, the women in the rural areas, or they only interact with the organizations like the NGOs, the farmer producer organization, the government departments? So, what kind of stakeholders do they interact with?
Yeah. When it comes to stakeholders, if you go back to the role of NABARD, it's an institution which does not directly deal with the farmers, but it touches every aspect of the rural life through other institutions. So, as a grade A officer, you will not be coming in direct contact with the farmers in your day-to-day efforts. Maybe when you go for and field visits and inspections, you will be talking to them, you will be directly addressing them. However, the grade A officer or any officer in NABARD deals with the institutions. It could be an institution called a non-government organization, NGOs, you call them farmer producer organizations, or the state government, or the central government. All these things, institutions, all any commercial banks, non-banking financial institutions. Grade officer deals with these organizations only, and they do not normally talk directly with the farmers unless we do not discourage farmers coming them unless we have a farmers meet in every regional offices. We have a farmers meet once in twice in a year. There people express their views. That time any officer has got an interaction with them. Otherwise, the stakeholders of NABARD are the institutions and government.
Okay, okay. Okay. And so now I want to talk about one more aspect. Like whenever a person joins any organization, they see themselves growing in the career, in upskilling themselves. So how can one grow in NABARD in terms of their careers?
Yeah. The growth prospects in NABARD are better than most of the commercial bank institutions, where, for example, even a person who joins as a development assistant has retired in the most senior position of a chief general manager in charge of the entire state. It is
Okay.
not one off, it has been happening almost regularly. So,
Mm.
anybody who has got the merit, who has got the attitude, and who has got the capacity to develop, and also who has got the absorption capacity of the rules and regulations, and who performs, who delivers, always get a chance to go up the ladder. For example, when you talk about the career opportunity, one question that comes to everybody's mind is that when will I get the next promotion?
Mm.
Here, I would like to say when you join as a grade A officer, you automatically become eligible for a next promotion. That is grade B. We call it as a manager. After completion of 4 years of your service, you get to become a chance to become a manager. And selection depends on your credentials, but you get an opportunity to appear for the interview. And also, depending on the vacancies, you will be selected based on your seniority and
Okay.
performance. It is called seniority and suitability, but only
Okay.
seniority, not suitability. Both should be playing a part. But you get an opportunity within after 4 years.
Okay, so basically, we can conclude that if we talk about the promotions, so promotions are not by default. So you get the opportunity, but you must be suitable. You should have those credentials. You should have those that merit for you to be suitable for that position. Vacancy should be there, and only then you get promoted.
Perfect,
It's
perfect, perfect.
yeah,
It is not automatic. It is not
yeah.
automatic.
It's not
Nobody is
automatic.
rejected. Nobody is selected automatically.
Okay. Okay. And so I want to ask one more thing that are there any opportunities to pursue higher studies? Like, is there a policy of study leave or is there any scholarship scheme like it is there in RBI?
Yeah, yeah. We have a very, very good scholarship scheme. As soon as you become a grade B or after becoming 5 years of service, you are eligible to get a scheme. You get a sabbatical. You get to choose your institution where you can pursue. And NABARD gives the remuneration also during that period, along with the perquisites. That's more important. Even the perquisites are repaid during the first year. And then
Hmm.
from the second year onwards, it is two-thirds of your remuneration gets paid also. So
Okay.
you have got, you can pursue all your wishes,
Hmm.
provided that aligns with NABARD's role. Supposing if you are in NABARD and if you want to pursue medicine, NABARD may not allow you. If it is
Okay.
for your post graduation, if it's for your PhD or MPhil, or
Hmm.
more important, there is one more thing. Even if you want to work or take an assignment with any other organization like non-banking finance company or any corporate institution, NABARD also permits that. You can also work in other areas for 2 more years. So in this 2 years term comes twice in a year in one's career. You can pursue once 2 years, and then if you want to perform another course, that is also possible after some years. So
Okay.
during this period, almost you get the entire leave and
Hmm.
you get the entire salary the first year including perks. Second year onwards, it is two-thirds of your salary. And
Okay.
then only, yeah, the only condition in that is you have to serve NABARD at least for a period of 5 years after your tenure. And during this period, even NABARD takes care of your additional expenses like for your studies. Apart from your salary, NABARD gives up to rupees 1 lakh for meeting your hostel expenses or such things.
Okay. Okay. And so one more thing I want to ask here is that NABARD has an employment bond?
NABARD doesn't have an employment bond, but there is a fixed thing where you have to repay 2.5 lakhs. The amount varies every year, but if you are living within 1 2 years, that bond you have to execute. It is not a bond. It's only you have to give the 3 months notice to the NABARD and also pay certain amount. That amount varies, but you have to pay certain amount before leaving the NABARD. And if you pay that, you are free to go. NABARD doesn't bind anybody from not going. Only that monetary, because in the initial years, NABARD spends too much on the people and their training, posting, rural immersion things and all. NABARD spends on that. Only for that they have a 2.5 lakhs to be paid.
Okay.
Otherwise, there is no other bond for them.
Okay, and so I want to ask one more thing, that some of the aspirants these days, they are asking this question, that the interviews are nearby, they are already working in public sector units, PSUs, and they have the bonds there in PSUs.
Yeah.
So are the, like, if somebody has a bond in PSU, can it be transferred to NABARD?
Yeah, yeah. PUC bonds can be continuously transferred to NABARD. It can be a continuous thing because NABARD is also one of the PSUs, though it is called a development financial institutions. The bond with the PSU can be transferred to NABARD.
Okay, okay. And so, one last question that I want to ask you before jumping to the questions which other people are asking, that when a person appears in a NABARD Grade A interview, what does NABARD look forward into that person? What characteristics they are looking for in a person when he or she appears in the interview?
It is plain. NABARD looks for the attitude of the person.
Okay,
In your interview, mainly your attitude is tested.
okay,
Everything else comes second.
okay,
Uh, from my experience, I say the interview panel judges a person, though the interview may go up to 20 to 30 minutes, the interview panel judges a person within the first 5 minutes. This is very
okay,
important. How your
okay.
demeanor, how you conduct yourself, how you posture yourself, how you answer yourself, those things. In the other things, sir, madam, anybody can mask themselves and give an answer, but attitude cannot be masked.
Hmm,
So the NABARD interviewer always asks you about your rural leanings, whether you would like to serve in rural areas, whether you would like to be serving in other places. These are all general questions. But the attitude of the person is the main determinant. Of course, when you for the purpose of selection, there are two, three more criteria. One is about your standing in the written examination.
hmm,
That plays a very vital role in getting selected because it is always on the top-down approach. But whoever gets the interview more marks, it's a combination of your interview marks as well as your written marks, and
yeah.
that is the given in the descending order, and then postings are given. But a person with a good character, background, good background,
Hmm,
academic things, which is more aligned to NABARD's policies, NABARD's objectives, are given preference, and also. Supposing, as I say, that the person who is not having any qualification which is directly related to NABARD are also selected. Doesn't mean that only people with rural background or economics are selected. If you see in NABARD, we have a very small unit of law department, but even
hmm,
so many people with other backgrounds are also get selected. So in
hmm.
the NABARD interview panel, they look for your background, your rural lineage, rural leanings, and also about your attitude, and also and also your willingness to work anywhere in the country.
Okay. So one aspirant, Kavita, she's asking that what is the average age people join as an NABARD grade A officer?
There are people who have joined at the age of 22, also 21, also because it's a minimum age, I think, for your things. People who are
Hmm,
joining, and then it is up to 27 years. It is it's given given in the so
hmm.
21 years is the entry point. In fact, I joined about at the age of 19.
Okay. And sir, she's asking one more thing, that is it worth giving 4 attempts to NABARD as her 3 attempts are already over?
Madam, 100%, madam. It's all your worth efforts because many people who are given more than 4 attempts are also have joined NABARD and they have never regretted that decision. You try
Hmm,
maximum, you will definitely succeed, and it is worth it. I would say, if you are looking for a career, good career, rewarding career, and satisfying career, NABARD is the best place to join, and any amount of effort is less, I would say. People who, unless you have a, because madam, you are not competing with yourself, you are competing so many other people. Your
hmm,
best has to be better than anybody's best, is it not? So focus on your interview, focus on your written test. I would say the written test carries more weightage than any other things. So
hmm,
you do your homeworks well. You concentrate on your interview. You concentrate on your written examination. And I think EduTap has got a well structured class sessions. So you give all your efforts, fire all your cylinders. At the end of the day, it is worth the effort. You burn some midnight candle for a few days, doesn't matter, but it is rewarding. I would assure the career in NABARD is very rewarding and it is worth efforts, not twice, thrice, even fourth time also you can appear, madam. All the best to you because you have been trying, definitely you would be able to succeed. Thanks, madam.
Okay. So one aspirant is asking that what are the pension benefits that a person gets?
Yeah, it's now it is different. Earlier, it used to be the assured pension. Now it is linked to National Pension Scheme, NPS they call it as. So NABARD contributes every month around 14 to 15% of your salary, basic salary, to the pension fund. It accumulates, and it is pension fund. It's a market related scheme. You are getting pension based on the returns available. But however, the government of India and Association NABARD is coming out with a scheme where at least 50% of your pension is assured. The rest 50% comes from the market condition of the NPS. But as of now, people who retired last year, they have been saying that the NPS has been very good because the annuity is very good. Sometimes it is much better than the old pension scheme. As of
Okay.
now, NABARD has discontinued, not only NABARD, all the government of India institutions have discontinued with the old pension scheme. It is
Mm,
NPS linked now.
okay. Now, so one more aspirant, Prashant Avasti, he's asking that do they require, like, do the aspirants who are going to appear in the NABARD interview, do they need to do any certificate course or any upskilling courses to get an edge in the interview? Does such certification courses get any edge in the interview?
Of course, of course.
Hmm.
Any additional qualification
Hmm.
gets attention
Okay.
because when two people are equal
Hmm.
and when there is a dilemma of selecting whom, the
Hmm.
person with additional qualification also gets an edge. And if you have a certificate or any diploma courses in
Hmm.
terms of banking or
Hmm.
economics or rural development or cooperation, any extra course or credit appraisal, risk management, all these
Hmm.
courses gets added value. I would strongly say anybody, even if you want to join now also, because there is at least 4 to 5 months are still available with you for preparation and coming for the interview and then get joined selected. So do as many courses as possible. If you're not joined also, if you have time, I would always recommend any additional course related to NABARD will always have an edge over others because it is the selection of one over the other. When two people are same in the same balance tilts over the person who has some additional qualification.
Okay. And so there are questions like related to different departments, like animal husbandry department, or Rajesh is asking about the civil engineers department. So do they, like forever, do they do the supervision work at site or the field work or office work? What kind of work do they do? Or are they always posted, like if somebody gets selected from the civil engineering background, so are they always going to be there in the civil engineering or the animal husbandry department, or does that also keeps on changing?
As I said, madam, the person who has got a qualification may get preference to get posted in the department. However, he doesn't get stuck to the department. It's always a there is always a scope for going out of the department, and it's not possible to get all the civil engineers in one department also. You because in fact our chief general manager, with whom I am working, is a civil engineer. He heads the entire regional offices. And there are
Hmm.
so many people with the civil engineering background, legal background, are working in supervision. Whatever may be a skill set, NABARD has got a pot of schemes where your skill set could be used. Supposing I just say, if you are a civil engineer, you are not confined to civil department. There are programs where infrastructure of the rural areas is being built. There the civil engineers are getting posted. There are
Hmm.
credit departments where we have to appraise the loan policies or the loan requirement of construction. There civil engineer is required. If you talk about a chartered accountant, he is not getting confined to accounts or finance department. He gets posted to credit department. He gets posted to supervision department. He gets posted to inspection department, where all they can use their skill sets. It is not that one person, if he has a civil engineering background, get confined to only premises department. No, it always gets rotated. Especially when you go from one regional office to another regional offices, there is no reason for them to get stuck. They normally get a different posting.
Okay. So there is one person, Ravindra Singh Rathor. He's asking that volunteering in an NGO helps in interview. Does this helps in interview that they have volunteered in NGO?
You mean to say, can I put it this way? He has been working in an NGO. Will that help him in the interview?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But it again depends on which area the NGO was working upon. But NGOs are very, our channel partners, we call them, because through the NGOs, we implement most of our programs. So the work experience in NGO has got an edge, has got an advantage.
Okay. And sir, one more aspirant, Rupa, she's asking that having gap years, does that affect the selection in the interview?
But provided you have a valid reason for the gap, it doesn't affect.
Okay. Okay. So, and one more, one last question, which is there from Preeti Rajendran, that does 4 years of experience to get a promotion of Grade B officer include probation period of 2 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, sir, these were all the questions which were there on YouTube and on our chat section also. So, with this, we have discussed the entire NABARD as an organization and NABARD Grade A as a position. I hope this session it was insightful for our aspirants for the future NABARD Grade A officers. And thank you so much, sir, for explaining everything in so much of detail. That was very insightful. You have answered each of the question in great detail. Thank you so much for your time, for giving us answers with so much of honesty.
Yeah. Madam, I think I have one more question coming up. They were asking about the certification course. Can I have one more time for that?
Yes, yes, sure,
Yeah.
sir.
Madam, people are asking about certification courses. I would say any certification course related to banking, risk management, cooperation, or about the financial side are valid or having an edge. They are all treated as an additional qualification. Maybe if the basic qualification is a graduation, I believe any additional
Hmm.
qualification over and above the graduation is welcome. If they are having an opportunity to do some courses, I would recommend there is one NISM, National Institute of Securities Management. They have a line of courses. They can do any of these courses because these courses are self-paced courses. If they're able to crack this and then get a certificate and then put it in their interview panel, it will always be a helping. For example, in that NASM curriculum, they have courses on financial management, risk management, and all. These are all courses which are well aligned to NABARD's functioning, credit appraisal, all these things. So any additional courses, I would say if you want to me to circle within these few areas, I would say risk management, credit appraisal, financial inclusion, and also about the areas related, any area touching with the banking solutions. These are the certificate courses which are available. If they Google it, they will definitely be able to get that. Or if they want to specifically anything, they can also write to me or write to you through you to me also. I will recommend certain courses to them.
Okay. And sir, Kavita is asking that any other interview preparation tips in what way one should prepare for NABARD interview?
Madam, please go through the NABARD's annual report. It is available in our website. You need not have to go about the data part because that will be very taxing for you. NABARD does not ask for the data, excepting maybe what's the size of NABARD balance sheet, say it's 10 crores. You can have the luxury of 10 lakh crores it is. You can have the luxury of saying 1 or 2 crores this way or that way. And what about the profit of NABARD, margins of NABARD, and such things only. But I would recommend you go through the NABARD annual report. That will give you nowadays GPT is available. You can summarize the each chapter and then take that. You will get to know about the activities of NABARD, various functions of NABARD, various areas in which NABARD operates, and the various stakeholders of NABARD like governments, NGOs, and state governments, central government, and also about the other banking institutions whom we are comparing with self-help group, JLG groups. And whenever they are talking about the interview, the empowerment of women, there are certain schemes which are available with NABARD for empowering the rural women and financial inclusion. These are the main areas where the interview people would like you as an aspirant to know about. To go through the NABARD annual report. That will be a sufficient thing for you to start the interview.
Okay. And sir, there is more like the people want to know that is there any option to request NABARD if we are not able to get the NOC from our current PSUs they are working in
Yeah, normally NABARD gives 6 months time
to get the
to
NOC?
to get the NOC.
Okay.
to
Oh,
join. From the things, if they have genuine reason, NABARD, if you apply to NABARD, they get 6 months time to join.
okay. Okay. So these were the questions, sir, because most of the other questions are related to the certificate courses only, and you have already explained to us it in great detail. So on that note, sir, I'm going to end this session now. Once again, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for your time, for explaining everything in such detail and with such honesty. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, madam. Once again, I wanted to tell all the people, prepare well, and it's a very golden opportunity for you. Welcome to NABARD.
Okay. Thank